Impact Summit here on the Global Common Channel of the Singapore FinTech Festival 2020. Moving on now to the next session. The head of the United Nations Development Programme, Achim Steiner, who will share valuable insights on how the current crises creates opportunities for developing countries to leapfrog into key structural changes. He's going to look at how innovative technology solutions are being introduced, and also how access to financial and digital tools will help small and medium-sized enterprise. So let's go over to Achim for his presentation on inclusive digital finance for small and medium enterprises.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, it is a great pleasure to join this year's Singapore FinTech Festival. The event comes as the devastating socioeconomic consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic are still reverberating across the globe. This year, the world has witnessed an unprecedented acceleration in the use of digital technology. As the pandemic hit, the United Nations Development Programme was on the ground in 170 countries to help with the application of e-health and e-government platforms, as well as a range of digital solutions to ensure the business continuity of governments. This was helped by having a digital strategy already in place. We saw how governments turned to the power of digital finance to provide vital cash transfers to people unable to leave their homes, providing a lifeline to businesses, jobs, and livelihoods. The pandemic hit small, medium-scale enterprises and informal workers especially hard, many of whom lack social protection or healthcare. With SMEs in the formal and informal sectors representing 70% of jobs worldwide, how SMEs are able or not able to weather the crisis will be critical to the global recovery and to make progress on the Sustainable Development Goals. As part of our role in leading the United Nations socioeconomic response to the pandemic, UNDP is supporting the entrepreneurs, small businesses, and workers of the world. In Uganda, for example, we teamed up with the online shopping platform Jomaya Food to launch a new e-commerce platform to keep SMEs in the informal trade sector afloat as the country went into lockdown. And UNDP is also working with communities to surface and scale up new solutions, including through the UNDP Accelerator Labs network that now serves 114 countries worldwide. To give just one example, our Accelerator Lab in Argentina helped to create a pay-in-advance platform that allows people to pay for services they will receive after the lockdown, supporting SME cash flows in the meantime. Yet, digital connectivity is fast becoming the global metric of inclusion and exclusion, with 3.6 billion people still unconnected. There is also a clear digital gender divide. In low and middle-income countries, 433 million women are as of today unconnected. Women risk increasingly being excluded from the potential of the digital economy. So, as digitalization accelerates, there is a critical need to ensure access to affordable broadband, the nervous system of today's new civilization. This connectivity is critical when it comes to digital finance. And a report by the UN Secretary-General's Task Force on Digital Financing of the Sustainable Development Goals, entitled "The People's Money," points out that digital finance holds enormous potential to expand financial inclusion by empowering citizens as savers, investors, borrowers, lenders, and taxpayers. If we give people more choice over their money through digital finance, we know that they will invest in critical areas like the green economy, boosting job creation and inclusion. Indeed, digital finance could drastically reduce poverty and inequalities. In Kenya alone, some 200,000 households have been lifted out of poverty thanks to mobile money. The fintech revolution is also helping SMEs across the world to access loans. Previously, many of them were deemed to be too high risk. In particular, big data and analytics can rapidly accelerate the delivery of the 5.2 trillion in annual financing needed by SMEs in developing countries. At UNDP, we are helping countries to build forward better from the pandemic. A key part of our support will be working on digital disruption. Drawing on the UNDP digital strategy, our efforts will include engaging with digital payment and e-commerce systems with a focus on supporting women-run SMEs and closing the digital divide for marginalized populations. Indeed, UNDP and the UN Capital Development Fund have launched a new joint offer on digital financing. In concrete terms, that includes helping governments to create new digital financing strategies that create an enabling environment that will propel SME growth. We're also advancing a dialogue on the governance of global digital finance platforms in recognition of the cross-border impacts that these payment and dominant players will have on the SMEs across the world. The intersection between the international community, the private sector, and digitalization is key. To this end, UNDP, the United Nations Global Compact, and the International Chamber of Commerce have teamed up with major players in the private sector, including DHL, Microsoft, and PwC, to launch a new initiative called Recover Better Together, a COVID-19 private sector facility. The initiative recognizes the pivotal role of the private sector in driving the socioeconomic recovery. In particular, it will help women businesses to get back on their feet and apply digital solutions to adapt to the new COVID-19 economy. Some of our initial projects will focus on Turkey, Ghana, Colombia, and the Philippines. And today, I'm also very pleased to announce an important new partnership with the Monetary Authority of Singapore to help integrate SMEs in Africa into global value chains and to accelerate digital finance in the region. We are combining Singapore's unique position as a global digital finance hub with UNDP's extensive local presence, where we work with communities on a day-to-day basis to implement the solutions that they need. Taken as a whole, I'm excited by our bold efforts to help countries fully harness the incredible power of digital finance underpinned by fintech. And I truly believe that fintech will serve as a high-speed connection to that greener, more inclusive, and more sustainable future. Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Thank you, Achim, for that comprehensive overview of how small and medium enterprises are using digital finance to meet the challenges of today.